McTominay's in the box. McTominay's in! Takes a deflection. Scotland take the lead. Scott McTominay, their top scorer in qualifying for the Euros, is their opening scorer at the Euros. Scott McTominay's deflected effort gives the Tartan Army the lead. Scotland leading Cologne. A very good evening, welcome to Euro 2024 live on LFS this evening for our second stream of the day and our second group roundup of the day. Earlier we watched Group D come to a close as Austria topped that group with a 3-2 win over the Netherlands, and France finishing second after drawing 1-1 with Poland and the Netherlands taking third spot. Poland eliminated, of course. We watched that earlier, a lot of drama in that one. 7 goals in total. Anything half as good as that for this stream would make it an incredible night. It's Group C that we're watching this evening. England take on Slovenia in Cologne, and Denmark and Serbia face off in the Allianz Arena in Munich this evening, with a chance that England, Denmark and Slovenia can all top the group if results go their way. In the contrast, Serbia can also have a chance of progressing if they can beat Denmark and other results go their way. So all 4 teams in the mix. This group is tight. It's not as tight as what Group E will be tomorrow, but it is certainly tight, and anybody's guess as to who will top this group, because it's as tight can be. England haven't been convincing yet. Slovenia 2 draws from 2 games. Serbia got a last-minute equaliser against Slovenia on match day 2, and Denmark got a well-deserved draw out of England also on match day 2. It's anybody's guess as to who's the best team in this group performance-wise, but we will see who will come out on top after the 2 games we'll watch this evening. To the teams then, as we will be keeping a very close eye on England-Slovenia. That is our commentary game tonight. We'll keep a very close eye on Denmark against Serbia elsewhere, so we'll update you on goals and outcomes in that one. Let's get the team news from Munich first, between Denmark and Serbia. Let's read you through that. With Denmark, the designated home side. Kasper Schmeichel, their captain, continues in goal. Alexander Ba comes into the back 5 alongside Joachim Andersen, Jannik Vestergaard, Andreas Christensen and Joachim Mæhle in defence. Morten Hjulmand, Pierre-Emil Højbjerg and Christian Eriksen in an unchanged midfield 3, with the same front 2 that they've had all throughout the group so far. Denmark, Jonas Vind and Rasmus Højlund leading the line. On the bench for Denmark, Hermansen, Ronno, Kjær, Christensen, Zanka, Jensen, Delaney, Skov Olsen, Damsgaard, Norgard, Brun Larsen, Dahlberg, Poulsen and Dreyer. For Serbia, Rajkovic in goal, Milivojevic right wing back, Veljkovic, Milenkovic, Pavlovic and Zivkovic make up the defensive 5. Ilic and Gudel in midfield, with a front 3 of Samardzic, Lukic and Mitrovic. Serbia and Denmark can both finish in the top 2. Denmark are second at the moment. They can go top. We'll see what they can deliver tonight. But here in Cologne, our commentary game tonight, England against Slovenia, and Gareth Southgate has made one change to the England side that was unchanged for the game for Denmark last time out. Jordan Pickford continues in goal. He had a bit of a worry in the warm-up, but got through the warm-up and is okay to play. He starts in goal. An unchanged back 4, as always for England, has been the case throughout the groups. Walker, Stones, Guehi and Trippier in defence. The only change comes in midfield as Conor Gallagher partners Declan Rice in place of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Jude Bellingham further ahead in midfield, with a front 3 of Bukayo Saka off the right, Phil Foden off the left, and captain Harry Kane continues through the middle. On the bench for England, Ramsdale, Henderson, Shaw, Alexander-Arnold, Konsa, Dunk, Gomez, Bowen, Eze, Palmer, Wharton, Mainu, Gordon, Toney and Watkins. For Slovenia, who have drawn both of their games up to this point, they start with Jan Oblak in goal. A back 4 of Zan Karničnik, Vanja Drakusic, Jaka Bijol and Erik Jansa at the back 4. A midfield four of Adam Nezacerin, Timmy Max Elchnik, Petar Stojanovic and Jan Mlakar, all in midfield, with a front two of Andras Sporar and Benjamin Šeško leading the line. On the bench for Slovenia is Belic, Vecic, Balkovic, Blazic, Brekalo, Horvat, Stankovic, Verbic, Lovric, Kurtic, Zelkovic, Ilicic, Vipotnik, Selar and Zugel. So England, they want to top the group to avoid any scares elsewhere. Remember, if they win the group, England, or any team that wins this group, will avoid the killer end of the draw. Spain, Germany, Portugal and France all on one side of the draw. You win your group, this group, you'll avoid that. That's the target for these teams tonight. Kick-off in Cologne and in Munich in Group C as we wrap it up is on the way next. Welcome back to Euro 2024 live on LFS as we get ready for another group to come to an end. It's been dramatic already this afternoon and more of the same please here this evening. Our focus commentary game is England against Slovenia in Cologne as England have a chance to top the group and avoid that killer end of the draw. They face Slovenia, who have drawn both of their first two games in the group. Denmark take on Serbia elsewhere. We'll have that game on the left-hand side of your screen and update you on everything that is happening there as we go through. Denmark, of course, in second at the moment, looking to build upon that draw with England on match day 2. They've actually drawn both of their games 1-1 at the start of the tournament. Denmark and Serbia, of course, lost to England on match day 1 and drew with Slovenia last time out. They are bottom of the group. The live table, as you can see there is the table at the moment. That is incorrect at the moment. Denmark are ahead of Slovenia in that place, so that is incorrect. It's just the way it's calibrated on the screen. But that is the case at the moment. Denmark are confirmed second of the group. But that will update as the night goes on. It will not be that way throughout the night. We will update you live on the night, as we have done on our 3 previous streams wrapping up the groups. Every single moment, even sometimes it's ahead of us. It was earlier, it's ahead of us at that table. So it's as live can be. And you'll not miss a single bit of action from Group C tonight here on LFS. England in all whites here in Cologne and Slovenia in all blue. In Munich, it is all red for Denmark and all white for Serbia. Easy to keep up to grips with. Let's see, can the Three Lions start roaring in Germany? Or will Slovenia cause another upset? And a draw might be enough for them to create history. They've never got out of a group stage of a European Championships before. A draw, or even better tonight, would be enough for Slovenia to progress. Let's see. This is England's chance, but it's also Slovenia's chance. That's why this group is as tight as it is. No one's made themselves the star of this group yet. They've got one game to do so, and top spot is what everybody wants. Only 3 can get it. But we will see which one of them gets it tonight as we're underway in this one. And we're just underway as well between Denmark and Serbia as well. So we're keeping an eye on both games tonight for you. And it'll be interesting to see what way England play tonight. All the conversations about how England have played and how it's not been what they've wanted. It's not been the football that the English fans have wanted. It's been disappointing, lethargic, some have called it. It's England's chance to show a bit of energy and a bit of fight. And some of that great quality that we know they have here tonight in Group E. So far, it's not been the worst. 2 performances, that narrow victory over Serbia on match day 1, followed by that 1-1 draw against Denmark that actually a lot of people were very disappointed with in the end. And of course Gareth Southgate was named an unchanged side from Serbia, the Serbia game into the Denmark game. Both sides were exactly the same, and just the one change tonight for England from that draw with Denmark. As I said, Conor Gallagher joins Declan Rice in midfield in place of Trent Alexander-Arnold. As Kornišnik here for Slovenia, knocks it up the pitch. Trippier won the header, but getting cleared away as Rice will just get that one back to Trippier. Now Rice. Trippier round the corner. Nice ball down the line here for Foden. He rolled out of room there. Phil Foden covered over well by Vanja Durakusic, and that will be a goal kick to Slovenia. Of course, we didn't see very much of Phil Foden in either of the 2 games that we've watched England so far. It's that left-hand side that's been the struggle for balance. It's about how they find a way through, as Slovenia almost find a way through there, and they'll not get a corner. It'll be a goal kick. Thought they'd got a corner there. Petar Stojanovic made the run in behind, and England had to deal with that one. Ultimately, it come off Stojanovic last, so goal kick. But it's a threat from Slovenia. Of course, Slovenia, no walk in the park for England. They're not the easiest side to come up against. Both Denmark and Serbia have struggled up to this point. Both have got draws. Slovenia actually were denied a win against Serbia on match day 2. A last-minute winner. Or last-minute equaliser, sorry, from Serbia. Ultimately, Kyle Walker did look a bit coy after that decision for a goal kick. He actually did swipe it. It was a corner, but that's why he did look a bit strange. I saw the face of Kyle Walker. I was like, that's a bit strange, but it was a corner for Slovenia. But goal kick was given, which will be a bit of luck for England that they might need. Our referee this evening is Clément Turpin from France. That's a poor pass out there from Bellingham, given away, and the pressure and the foul on Andras Sporar by Gallagher will give Slovenia the free kick. Of course, England ranked 5th in the world. They are the 3rd highest ranked European team, just behind France and Belgium, and are 5th in the world. Here's Kornišnik for Slovenia. Positive start for the Slovenians. Switches out to the left. Elshnik out to the left it goes. The cross comes into the box. Back post. Stojanovic and the header on by Benjamin Šeško. Into the hands of Jordan Pickford. But that was really good combination play by Slovenia from end to end. And the cross from the left-hand side. Mlakar, I think it was. Firing its way to Stojanovic. Headed it across goal. And Šeško got ahead to it. Headed it straight into the hands of the England keeper. That's good combinations from Slovenia as England give it away again. Here's Šeško. Mlakar will pick up the loose ball. Battling with Saka, who was tracking back. And Mlakar couldn't keep it in. It will be an England throw. Saka tracking back well to win the ball. Win the throw in. As I just glance to my left and see that Denmark had a free kick there. Tried to go for the short option. did Christian Eriksen to find Jonas Vind, but comfortably into the hand of the Serbian keeper. At 5 minutes, they're almost identical times between the two games, so they got off at just about the same time, so very similar on that front. So about 5 minutes gone as well between Denmark and Serbia. Of course, Denmark know that a win for them, if England failed to win, would mean they would top the group. England finish second. They will know their opponents tonight, because if they finish second in this group, whoever does finish second will face Germany in the round of 16. And the winner of this group will be on the other side of that killer draw, and they will face the third place team in either Group D, E or F. So they're still in the balance on that front. So the only team that will know their opponents from this group that qualify tonight for the round of 16 will be the runners-up, which could be either Denmark, Slovenia, Serbia or England. All four can finish second tonight. That is a possibility. That's what makes this group so entertaining, so interesting, is the fact that it can go multiple different ways. The permutations are as of that. Earlier we saw Group D. Poland were already eliminated before match day 3, so they were out of the question. This is the first group where we've seen that all the teams still have a chance to finish in the majority of positions. Only Serbia don't have a chance at finishing top, but they have a chance of finishing in second, still qualifying. Very much so. Here's Phil Foden for England. Back to Rice. Across the Stones now. Right to Saka. Back to John Stones. Across to Mark Guehi. Finds Harry Kane, who's come very deep on the left here. Looks to switch the ball out to the right hand side, looking for Saka. Headed away by Jansa. And Lakar was in the battle, and Saka will put that out for a throw-in. Interestingly, Erik Jansa there, I was just going to point out, Erik Jansa has scored at this tournament. Scored the equaliser for Slovenia against Denmark on match day 1. Took a deflection off a Danish player, but did score the goal. Ultimately, Erik Jansa was on target, so he will be a goal threat as well as a defensive battler for Slovenia tonight. The majority of goals in the competition, I was looking at the stats beforehand, 16 out of the 64 goals scored in the tournament so far have come between the 16th and 30th minutes, the highest scoring 15-minute period of any game, or of all the games up to this point. So if you're going to score, the likelihood is you'll score within the middle 15 minutes of the first half. Here's Declan Rice for England. Kane on the spin on the edge of the box, trying to force it through. Slovenia get the bodies in the way to clear their lines as Guehi will recycle back for Trippier. And those blue shirts shielding again. It's been a fascinating tournament so far. Really has been. Goals galore everywhere. It's been very exciting up to this point, and it's only going to get better. As I said, that killer edge of the draw for the round of 16 is going to knock out some big teams as we enter the quarterfinals. We could be in a situation now, barring their opponents, we could see a Spain-Germany quarterfinal and a Portugal-France quarterfinal, which would be absolutely sensational. That is a possibility at this stage. Very much so. As Bellingham couldn't carry the ball with him. And Slovenia again break away. Chip down the right hand side. Kornešnik had to take the touch in field, but the crowding of England bodies wins it back. Kane. Foden made the run in behind. Here's Phil Foden. Behind for England. Squares it across. Tried to find Saka. But Saka slipped, and in any case Phil Foden was offside, so nothing would have counted there. Foden did make that darting run in behind. He was just offside, I think. Drakusic, I think, was the one that was the deepest for Slovenia. Would have been tight, but offside, I think, is the correct decision there. Phil Foden, there's been a lot of talk about him and not finding the balance for England down that left-hand side. So far, he's looked okay this game. So far, 35 appearances for England, 4 goals for 24-year-old Phil Foden. And he was PFA and Premier League Player of the Year from last season, just gone. So certainly at the top of his level. And he's still got a couple of years to go before he's even at his peak. And he's already winning those types of accolades. Wonderful touch in field there by Stojanovic for Slovenia. Through the lines it comes. Sporar off the right. Tried to square it back in, and Rice had to worry about that one. He miscued the clearance, and Gallagher had to clear it away. Slovenia do look competitive in the early moments. I expected they would be. Wasn't expecting this to be a walk in the park for England. Slovenia are a competitive side, as I said. They competed well with Denmark and with Serbia, almost beating Serbia, so they're in a good mood and they're in a good form, Slovenia. Those fans are certainly in a good mood, those Slovenian fans. Slovenia haven't lost in 2024, as I said previously. They've played 7 games, including the 2 group games of Euro 2024. They've won 3, drawn 4, and lost none of their games in 2024. Their last defeat, Slovenia, came in November 2023 against Denmark. Since then, they've been unbeaten in their previous 8. Guehi, Kane. Nice work in between the lines. Gallagher down the right-hand side. Finds Walker. Back to Conor Gallagher. He did come on for Trent Alexander-Arnold against Denmark. Committed a few fouls and got himself a yellow card for his troubles. And I want to talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold because I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for this game to be in action to talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. And it's been very frustrating watching. I'm not an England fan. I'm watching as a neutral, watching on, looking at the football and the basis of it. The sheer baffling nature of the fact that Trent Alexander-Arnold was pipped for midfield. Gareth Southgate was determined to get him into midfield from right back, put him in there, took him off after just 50-60 minutes in both games against Serbia and against Denmark, and then comes out and says that the experiment hasn't worked, that Trent Alexander-Arnold, we didn't get out of him what we expected to get out of him in that position. I'm sorry, Gareth, but I don't know what you're expecting. Trent Alexander-Arnold can play a 6. He's got the freedom and the ability to carry the ball forward and make any pass on the pitch. Said it before, I said it during the league season. There's only one player in football, in world football, that can ping a pass like Trent Alexander-Arnold and anywhere in the pitch, and that's Kevin De Bruyne. He's on that level. He's one of the best passers in world football. England's passing against Denmark and against Serbia in times was flat. Guaranteed. Taken. Point taken, clearly. But the point was, against Denmark, Trent Alexander-Arnold made 3 key passes more than any other player on the field. He was making runners run in behind because they knew they were going to get the ball to feet. They knew they were going to have a very good chance at getting the ball. But that stopped as soon as he came off the pitch. And then Gareth Southgate changed his whole front 3. And the runners weren't running in behind. Watkins got in behind once or twice since coming on late on. But he didn't pose a threat because the balls weren't being fed in behind or put over the top. That's exactly what Trent Alexander-Arnold does. And that's what confused me as to why he's being kind of regarded as the problem in midfield for England. That's why England aren't fluid. That's why England aren't playing the way they should be. I'm sorry, but I just don't see that. It baffles me how that's been the kind of given. You know, we can talk about England all night and their tactics and their system, but when you're not pressing from the front, your centre forward is dropping it very deep. That's not going to help. When your only wide player that's offering any threat is Bukayo Saka, and he's being double marked, that's not going to help. When you've got your number 10, Jude Bellingham, giving the ball away here, there and everywhere, that's not going to help. And when you have your defence sitting on the edge of their own 18-yard box, that's also not going to help. So you put all that together, those are the problems. Simple basics of football. Those are your problems for England. It doesn't take a genius to figure that one out. But that's the point. You lost your best passer in the team to try and get an extra centre defensive midfielder in to solidify. When you've conceded 1 goal in the tournament in 2 games. I wonder what the problem is. I wonder what the explanation is from Gareth Southgate, because if they play the way they've played in the previous 2 games tonight, I would love to know what the explanation is. Do they bring Trent back in? Or do they stick to this and stay rigid and think? Or do they completely rifle the team? Because if they continue to play the way they've played over the last 2 games tonight, then clearly the problem isn't Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's other things on the pitch not combining together. We'll see though. I got myself in a bit of a rut there. Bit of a rant. Here's Saka down the right hand side. Looks to cut it back. Just about kept it in. Kornišnik couldn't reach, but luckily he had Stojanovic there with him. And now Kornišnik down the line, gets past his man. As Sporar breaks forward here for Slovenia. Advantage played by the referee. Nice work in the midfield there. Stojanovic. Lovely from Slovenia. Sporar looking for the cross early. Blocked by Gallagher out for a throw. The referee's going to pull this back for a yellow card. And it's going to be going to Kieran Trippier for that late challenge on Stojanovic, I believe. Or Kornišnik. It was Kornišnik. Just came in very late there, the England left back. And Trippier gets the yellow card. I would like anybody in the chat, if you want to weigh in on this conversation about England and their so-called struggles in the tournament so far and whether or not playing to the best of their ability, I would love to hear your opinions, because I think, genuinely, it's simple, basic football that they're not getting right at the moment, and that's the problem. It's not the fact of a single individual player, it's the way they're playing is the problem. But anyway, Slovenia have a free kick here, so we're going to hold that talk on England for the moment, as Cherin and Jansa are over this free kick for Slovenia. Right hand side, high up on the right. Chance to deliver a ball in. Šeško is one of the targets in there for Slovenia. Can they find Slovenian head? Jansa's cross, right across, through and out the other end for a goal kick. Threatening cross by Jansa. Right through the danger zone, but maybe just a bit high. A bit too much height on it. None of his teammates could get anywhere near it, and ultimately it goes running through for a goal kick to England. But I've just seen another example of what I just talked about there from England. Playing out. The defenders are on the 18-yard, the edge of their 18-yard box. Their centre forwards are about 50 yards ahead of them. If you're going to play forward, play through the lines, you've got to be compact. You've got to be 30 yards between your last defender and your furthest forward attacker. Clearly. Not happening. Slovenia win the ball back again. Sporar with a half-hearted attempt there. Not the most threatening to Pickford. I'm watching this again. Here's Walker. Rice on the edge of the D. Carrying England forward. No pass within 10 yards of him. Here's Gurhey. As England try and push up. There's nobody in the middle there. Gallagher picks it up. Almost gets into a bit of trouble as Walker helps him through. Now Gallagher off to the right hand side. Better. Now down the right flank is Saka. Gallagher continued his run. Saka comes back in field across to Bellingham. Back to Rice. Now Trippier. Better from England. Foden. There's bodies in there to try and threaten. Foden can't get the cross in. Block. Back to Trippier. Squared across to Rice. 1-2. Lovely give and go. Foden across. Saka. Tap in, but he's offside. He's ahead of the ball when Foden made the pass there. Bukayo Saka. That was really good football in and around the edge of the box from England. Intricate football. Fabulous football. Oh, it's Foden that was offside from the Rice pass. It was Foden offside, not Bukayo Saka. So the flag is up anyway. But that was much better from England. Give and go, runners in behind, tight spaces in around the 18-yard box. That was much better. That was exactly the opposite of what we've been seeing from England last game and in the game before for the vast majority of that second half against Serbia. So, certainly more intricate, knowing where to pass. Stojanovic back to Karnišnik. 20 minutes gone in Cologne. Still 0-0 between England and Slovenia. As there was a foul there on one of the Slovenian players. Trying to see it was, I think it might have been Elshnik. Fouled by Kyle Walker. Sorry, it was Mlakar that was fouled by Walker there. So free kick Slovenia, which ends up coming to nothing. As we've just come back from the replay. 21 minutes gone as well in Munich between Denmark and Serbia. Still goalless between those two. Denmark have had more of the possession, 60% of the ball, and they've had just one shot in the whole game between the two sides, and that came from Christian Eriksen. That shot on target that was saved for the corner. It's just happened, so not much action to tell you about there either. Still goalless in both games. Walker for England here. As Saka tries to spin on the ball, just held back there. Will get England the free kick. And a yellow card's come out as well from Clement Turpin. Eric Jans is the one that got the booking. Yeah, he was pulled well back there by Eric Jans. It was Bukayo Saka. And that means that Eric Jans, if Slovenia progress to the round of 16, will miss that game. Well, of course, all the permutations are exciting to talk about. What was in the net there from Denmark? Referee's given the free kick against the Serbian keeper. So, hold on a second. No, wait a moment. Let's have to see the replay. The corner comes in from Denmark. In the box. Yeah, it's definitely a foul on the keeper, that. Certainly a foul on the keeper. He's got a full hold of him there. There's Jonas Vind. There's no doubt about that. That's clearly a foul on the Serbian keeper. No doubts about that one. Right. As I was saying, permutations can run you wild all night. You could talk about them all night on permutations and what can happen and who can finish where and what it would take for that to happen. We will guide you through so far everything that is plausible. At the moment, the table is the same way that it was before kickoff. Nothing has changed on that front. Now, what I'm being told is that that table there that you're seeing, swap Denmark and Slovenia. I've no idea why, but their goal difference of points are exactly the same. There's got to be a reason for that being switched. So that's incorrect as it stands. England are top, Denmark are second, Slovenia are third, and Serbia are bottom of the group at the moment. That would stay like that if both games end a draw, which would mean that England would top the group, Denmark would finish second, they would take second spot, and they would face off against Germany on the round of 16. Then Slovenia would qualify as it stands in third place, because they would be one of the four best thirds as we stand at this moment in time, and Serbia would of course be out because they're bottom of the group. Of course, there's no doubts about that one. That is what UEFA have delivered to us. So our graphics are saying that Slovenia are ahead of Denmark, but that is incorrect. UEFA have have it categorised as Denmark are second. There's obviously a reason for that. I will wait to see what that reason is, but clearly UEFA have that reason. Of course, it's very complicated because it comes down to head-to-head. So first it goes obviously points, then goal difference. If they're both the same, then it comes down to head-to-heads between the two teams. If that's the same, it then comes down to goals scored. If that's the same, then it will come down to ultimately disciplinary, which is yellow cards, red cards, etc., etc. And then if all of those are the same, it will come down to who did better in qualifying. That's the whole list of tiebreaker measures in the groups. So we will update you further throughout the night on that one, because it is quite complicated when you aren't fully in the know. But Denmark are the one in second at the moment. Slovenia are in third, so they're not going to automatically qualify for the moment, Slovenia, but they would on the basis of the 4 best thirds. As there's a foul there, Clement Turpin committed, saying that there was a foul there by Jan Mlakar on Conor Gallagher, and England get the free kick. Here's Phil Foden. Breaking forward into space, Foden, lovely work. Tried to find the pass to Harry Kane, but just overhit that one slightly, and Kane wasn't on the same page. I just saw Kasper Hjulmand, the Denmark head coach, crying for a penalty, for a possible handball there, but VAR having no extra work to do there. Keeping an eye on both games, because it's not been the most exciting in either game as of yet. It's a long way to go. We only had 1 goal in the first half of our stream earlier this evening, and then we had 6 goals in the second half, so how quickly it can change. It can change on the flipping of a coin. It's that tight. I will bring the permutations to you on where each team will finish if certain results happen in a short while. And I'm giving those details. Declan Rice to Walker. Gallagher took a touch, found it to Saka in between the lines. Nice work forward to Kane. He tried to flick it back, but closed down. Good challenging from Bellingham there. Wins it on the edge of the box. Challenged. Sliding in was Rice. There's sliding in everywhere. Bellingham slides in. England just about keep the ball. Trippier now. Foden. Has this got them going? Trippier now. Challenges sliding in here, there and everywhere there for a moment. That's Trippier. Hit that ball off Karnišnik. We'll go out for a throw-in. Foden back to Trippier. Tried to find it round the corner to Bellingham. Closed down well by Karnišnik. Try and get Slovenia on the counter. This is a nice move. Šeško's made the run. Benjamin Šeško's in a race with Jordan Pickford, who had already got the advantage and gathered for England. Good idea from Slovenia, but England come forward again. Trippier down the line to Foden. Phil Foden, a lot more involvement in that left flank tonight than the other 2 games. Bellingham switched across to Walker. Through the lines, finds Declan Rice in space. He's picked it up. On the spin is Kane. Shot easily blocked there by Drakusic. Sorry. Foden with a deep cross in. And the had to be booted behind by Erik Janse at the back post. Corner to England. Much more threatening that from England. Referee just sorting out one or two things in the box there. Ahead of this England corner. Right hand side, 30 minutes gone. England 0, Slovenia 0. Corner for England, right hand side. Delivered into the box. Kane up for the header. Not directed towards goal, right up into the air. As it will be taken down by Cherine. Battling with Rice. Clean challenge to the referee as Kane has this shot. Straight into the hands of Jan Oblak in the Slovenian goal. He hasn't been tested up to this point. And there he was tested for the first time. Easily gathered by Oblak. Konishnik. Well, Harry Kane, of course, alongside Jude Bellingham, are the only two scorers for England in the tournament. Harry Kane got England's only goal of the game against Denmark. Hold on a moment. Here's Sporar breaking forward. Sporar will have a shot, but easily closed down by Rice, and will find its way back to Jordan Pickford. As I was saying, Harry Kane got England's only goal against Denmark. He had a very fruitful season at Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Scored 36 goals in the Bundesliga and got 8 assists in his 32 appearances, which he started all 32 of those, which is an incredible feat, incredible return. 44 goal involvements in 32 appearances in the Bundesliga last season, and Bayern didn't lift the trophy. They didn't win the league. To have a striker that clinical and not win the league is borderline criminal. That wasn't the only goals that he scored. He scored 8 goals in 12 Champions League appearances for Bayern and 4 assists. So he got 44 goals between the Champions League and the Bundesliga, and in total got 56 goal involvements in his 44 appearances, Harry Kane, at club level between the Champions League and the Bundesliga last season. That is absolutely sensational. Like, that is incredible. Here's Mark Guehi. Rice. Foden. Quick passing from England there. Bellingham, back to Foden. Now Trippier. Across to Rice. Space here for Rice to try and measure something. Rice runs into trouble. He kept it, the possession though. Trippier in behind. Finds Phil Foden. Byline, cut back. All the way through. Walker spread it wide for Saka to recover. Better pressure from England. Saka. Gallagher back to Bukayo Saka, who is brought down there in the middle by Jakobijo, and it will be a free kick to England. The Slovenian centre-back committing the foul there on the Arsenal forward. Didn't have his most frivolous season, Bukayo Saka, last time out. Wasn't awful. He did score 16 goals for Arsenal in the Premier League last season, so it wasn't a bad return, a pretty good return for Saka. Free kick here for England then, as we see who's over this one. Looks like it's Walker and Trippier, or sorry, not Trippier, Walker. It's Trippier and Foden over this one. Walker was the last man there. Right, 28 yards, 29 yards, wide on the right. Foden will strike. Foden will have the chance, but the keeper, Jan Oblak, got on the end of that one. It's a clean strike by Phil Foden. Got over the wall and was arrowing towards the top corner, but full stretch there from Jan Oblak. Great goalkeeping. Takes the pace off it, bounces down in front of him, and he can gather. Really good goalkeeping, but that was a really nice effort by Phil Foden. Here's Stojanovic. Sporar wins the throw-in. Well, we've seen a lot more of Phil Foden tonight, but a lot less of Bukayo Saka. Maybe they've just switched the balance, that Phil Foden's stayed wide. He's got the space to break forward, but Saka is now the one not getting the benefit out of this at the moment. Still very early though. 10 minutes of the first half to go, and it's England 0, Slovenia 0, and also Denmark 0, Serbia 0. So the group stays the way it did before kickoff at the moment, with England top, Denmark second, Slovenia third, and Serbia bottom. As that's a good challenge in the middle there by Elshnik, kept alive by Mlakar. Here is Timmy Elshnik through the lines to Šeško. Out wide it goes to Stojanovic. Round the corner to Kornišnik. Gets to the byline. Kornišnik across and blocked there at the front post. I think it was Gurhi. Fed back into the box by Slovenia, but England will gather that one up, although they've given it away again. Stojanovic has won it back. Now here comes Slovenia again. Kornišnik. Lots of bodies in the box. Stojanovic on the edge. Back to Kornišnik. Now to Cherin. As England just close down all the gaps and push Slovenia back to their centre-backs. Bijol. To Elshnik. Was a breakdown the left-hand side there on for Janza, but Elshnik decides to come back infield to Drakusic. Now Kornišnik to Elshnik. Good passing from Slovenia. They've had less than 30% of the ball in the game so far, but have had the same amount of XG as England in these moments. Certainly being more threatening with less of the ball. That's lovely work from Sporar. Now Elshnik. Around the corner, down the right-hand side comes Stojanovic. Tracked all the way by Gurhi. This is a really good spell of possession. Elshnik again. To Sporar. To Kornišnik. Now Cherin. To Stojanovic. Chips it back into the middle. Cherin across. Bouncing down. Šeško was in the vicinity. Saka gathers the ball away, but Slovenia felt there was a foul in there on one of their players, as they will actually give away the free kick. Slovenia. England will get the free kick for a foul outside the box. Let's see that again. There's Erik Janza in a challenge with Saka. There's not much in that. Yeah, and then the challenge from Bijol on Kane gives England the free kick. But don't forget, tomorrow we have more group action for you, the final days of the groups, and it's the final day of the group stages tomorrow, as we have both Group E and F for you. We start with Group E tomorrow, match day 3. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock here on LFS. All 4 teams in Group E on 3 points heading into the final day. It's anybody's battle for top spot for the 2, maybe 3 places available in the knockouts for those teams in Group B. Anybody's guess. That's tomorrow at 5. Seen that again from the Kornišnik cross. It was Mark Gurhi that caught the block at the near post, and very strong defending. Been very impressive, Gurhi, defensively for England. Has come in, all the talk about no Harry Maguire and how will England deal with that situation, but Mark Gurhi's been a worthy deputy, I got that word correct, very worthy of that position so far. Mark Gurhi was very strong throughout the season for Crystal Palace defensively, and they ended the season very well, Crystal Palace, under their well, not new manager now, but the newer manager, of course, Oliver Glasner. Gurhi, over his 25 total appearances in the Premier League last season, got 1 assist, kept 4 clean sheets for Crystal Palace. Here's Kieran Trippier to whip one in, and it's all the way through. Ever so close. Gallagher was in there, Kane was there too. But it just goes all the way through. A dangerous ball by Kieran Trippier. Fizzed all the way through. And right the other end for a goal kick, but just ahead of Gallagher's head, and then the right boot of Kane at the back post just evaded him. That is the closest England have come. That is a wonderful effort delivered into the box by Kieran Trippier. That is sensational. But agonisingly away from Gallagher and Kane, who'd made those runs into the box. That's another thing. Trippier, a very strong defender, but he's got a wand of a foot on him. Both feet, left and right. Mainly right, but Karnišnik, I could have squared across and cut back from Walker back to Pickford. Cleared away by the Everton goalkeeper. Walker will take this through in for England. 4 minutes of the first half to go. Still goalless here in Cologne. But as it stands, that will not be a bad result for either England or Slovenia. Or Denmark, for that matter. A draw would benefit those three teams completely. The only team it doesn't benefit is Serbia at the moment, who would finish bottom as it stands. They need to do something against Denmark if they're going to have a chance at getting out of this group. 2 points won't be enough for Serbia because they're finishing bottom on that number of points at the moment. It's anybody's guess as to who will top this group. At the moment it's England with a major chance, the majority of the chance. And from the votes that we've had in the chat, keep those votes coming in. Greatly appreciated you interacting with us in the chat. The question on the poll was, will England top Group D? Or Group C, sorry. And the answer, yes or no. 88% saying that England will top this group. Only 12% predicting that England won't top this group. They will have a corner here, England. Right-hand side. I'll update you on the Denmark-Serbia game. Nothing's changed. I'll just update you on the stats and how things are going after this corner, of which Trippier has gone over to take on the right-hand side. A lot of England fans inside this stadium this evening. Trippier fizzed the corner across. Declan Rice was at the back post, but it did touch him. Did get there under the head of Rice, but could only be sent well out for a Slovenian throw on the far side. Yeah, come bouncing off the top of Declan Rice's head, and the sheer pace on it just carried it out for the throw-in. I think the foul was actually given against Declan Rice in any case. So, free kick to Slovenia. As I was saying then, Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Denmark have been the brighter of the two teams in the first half. Slightly more possession and certainly more efforts. 5 shots, 2 on target. They had one big chance which they missed. They've had 11 touches in Serbia's penalty area. Serbia just the 1 in Denmark's penalty area in that first half. So, so far it is Denmark pushing. But Serbia have work to do. All 4 teams have work to do if they want to get their desired result. Only one that doesn't is England, because they've had top spot since the start of the group. Since the very first game. Denmark, Slovenia and Serbia all drawing their respective games. All yet to win a match. England are the only team in the group having won, of course. Obviously Serbia on match day 1. Denmark and Slovenia have both drawn their 2 games in the group, and so Serbia have drawn and lost one of each of their 2 games. England, the only team to have won in this group so far. They don't need to win tonight. If results go their way, a draw would be more than enough. The only thing that wouldn't be enough for England is, of course, a defeat. Obviously. Bellingham trying to cut it back to the edge of the box, but well closed down as Šeško tries to get Sporer on the run, but Trippier got the better of Sporer and England recycle the ball again as they come forward once more. Last couple of seconds of the first 45, as there will be a certain amount of time added on at the end of this. We'll see how long. None. No added time at the end of the first 45. So Clement Turpin has called an end to the first half there. A first half which England were the better side in moments. They've played a lot better, much more fluid than what they have done previously. But still, that goal eludes them in Cologne. Half-time between England and Slovenia. England still top of the group as it stands, but no breakthrough yet. Half-time, England 0, Slovenia 0. Bodies in the box, McTominay, it's in! Takes a deflection! Scotland take the lead! Scott McTominay, their top scorer in qualifying for the Euros, is their opening scorer at the Euros. Scott McTominay's deflected effort gives the Tartan Army the lead. Scotland leading Cologne. Welcome back to Euro 2024 live. Half-time in our two Group C games tonight between Denmark and Serbia and England and Slovenia, and not a goal between them. And they've been making up for the fact that we've had a hatful of goals a bit earlier this afternoon. We saw 7 goals in as Group D came to a close. France drawing 1-1 with Poland. Only enough for second place for France. Austria with a team that topped the group in Group D after their 3-2 win against the Netherlands. And the Netherlands having to settle for third place in the group, which means their opponents still unknown. France, they will of course play the runners-up of Group F, I believe. I do apologise. I'll just get confirmation of that. They will play the runners-up of Group E, sorry. France will play the runners-up of Group E, which anybody's guess as to who that is. And Austria, the winners of Group D, will face the runner-up of Group F. Right, that was earlier this afternoon. This evening, though, a lot tighter between these 4 teams, and it's a lot tighter in this group. Any of the 4 of them can have a combination of the top 2 tonight. Serbia are the only team in Group C that can't finish top because England have already beaten them. Even if England lose and Serbia were to win tonight, that would mean that even Slovenia would finish on higher points. So therefore it's mathematically impossible for Serbia to finish top. But they can finish second. They would need to beat Denmark to do so. And it's England and Denmark, the 2 so-called favourites in this group, that hold the top 2 spots at the moment. Denmark having drawn both of their first 2 matches of the group. England winning and drawing their first 2 matches. They won against Serbia and drew against Denmark. And then Slovenia drawn both of their matches. Serbia lost and drew those 2 opening matches of the group. So that's where we stand at the moment. England in that first half, I went on a bit of a rant early on about Trent Alexander-Arnold, the only change to England's team tonight. And to be honest, England have looked... To say they've looked a lot better is interesting. It's fascinating. I don't think England have played much better football, maybe a few tweaks in there that you can see where they're getting a bit more joy. Maybe to the detriment of other players in the team. And this is an interesting point. Is it kind of this seesaw type of, or kind of the bed covers type of thing? You pull them up, they're too short at the bottom. You pull them down, they're too short at the top. It's that kind of idea. If England figure out the balance and get their players on the left, more on the ball, which we've seen tonight, the likes of Trippier and Foden much more involved in the game, it could be the detriment of the right-hand side of players, in Walker and Saka, which we haven't seen as much of tonight. In the difference, we've seen Walker and Saka almost run the two previous games when England have had their best moments. England's best moments in this game have come down the left-hand side. So it's interesting on that front that the first two games of the group, it was the right-hand side for England that dominated, Walker and Saka, with the midfielders combining, with the likes of Bellingham and Rice, and in those games Trent Alexander-Arnold linking up down that right-hand side a lot more. Whereas in this one, it's actually down the left-hand side where England are finding their more joy in this game, with the likes of Trippier, the likes of Foden, and then Rice stepping over a bit more to the left, involved a lot more. And it's about that balance, that all the talk about the balance about England's team, where they weren't getting the left-hand side involved at all, and it's kind of maybe swung the other way completely. They're getting the left-hand side too involved, and it's struggling on the right-hand side. It's about finding that fine balance between both. But I think tonight, England have looked more energetic on the ball. They have looked like they've wanted to make more runs. They've looked more... Their movement's been a lot better, much more fluid in between the lines in moments. They have made those moments, but at times that continuation of passing it around the back a bit slow has been a similar theme. And I said it in my talk, in my slight rant in that first half. I'm not an England fan, but watching on as a neutral, you can see what the problems are. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. I mentioned it multiple times. Your centre forward, Harry Kane, is coming far too deep. He's coming deeper than your centre defensive midfielder. That's not where you want your number 9. That seems too deep. The second one, I said it for moments when they were playing out from the back, England, they have the centre backs, or their whole back four, almost in their own box with their keeper from goal kick, or from when they were playing out from the back. Their centre midfielders are about 20 yards ahead of them, and then the centre forwards about 50 yards up the pitch from the goalkeeper. And you're right, okay, you want to get up the pitch quick, but there's too much space. You need to move as a team. We talk about England wanting to press and how they don't go for that high press. You're not going to go for the high press. You're going to go into either a mid block or low block. That's the three ways you play football, out of possession. High press, mid block, low block. England, at this moment in time, when they're out of possession, they are dropping off, but their midfielder are dropping off as well, and the centre forwards aren't pushing forward to try and press from the front. So they're not going for a high pressing measure. Maybe a mid block could be the idea, but there's too much space when they win it back through a mid block between their midfield and centre forwards, or their defensive midfield at times, where they're not getting those passes off quick enough. We haven't seen much pressing from England at all. Slovenia, when they've lost the ball, that's when England have got back onto it. The majority of England's pressing has come in at their own defensive third in that first half. How many times have we seen Slovenia get on the ball and break forward, get forward quickly, get into the final third in that first half, and England have got that nick on the ball in and around the box. In the defensive third, I said, Declan Rice has got one. Stones, Guehi, Walker, Trippier, those defensive midfielders, Gallagher's got one or two as well in that first half. Those players are making those challenges very deep. There's no problem with that. But if you're going to go for that technique, you need your side to stay compact, stay controlled, and stay within about 30-40 yards of each other. Gaps are too big at times. The back four are coming out, and they're trying to push up. They're trying to get forward. That's the idea that the England fans want. They want to push up. But there's too much of a gap between them and the midfield for them to try and have any impact. That's why they're playing it slow around the back, because they've got no options. Bellingham hasn't shown enough in that first half. I said it multiple times in that first half. Where is Bellingham? I said it in the slight rant that I had about the midfield changing, Bellingham has tried to carry the ball forward. Multiple times he's given the ball away and England aren't there to react to win it back. If you want a player like that on the ball, Jude Bellingham, you're going to have someone protecting, someone helping out. Declan Rice and Conor Gallagher, fair enough. Good options. Rice has done a decent job at that. Bellingham hasn't showed enough in that first half. He hasn't shown to the ball enough for me. He's been very minimally involved tonight. Harry Kane's coming far too deep, so there's no one trying to create a focal point up front for England. Their main focal point is probably Phil Foden in that first half, just breaking down the left-hand side. That's where they've probably had their furthest attacker forward. I wouldn't be surprised if I looked at England's average positioning in that first half, and Phil Foden was their furthest forward player, because he's been getting on the ball the most. And that's not the problem. It's the fact that your centre forward's nowhere near getting anywhere near that. If we look at England's, I'm not wrong. I've looked at it. Players' average positions. The furthest player forward for England in that first half, Phil Foden. Then Harry Kane. Then Jude Bellingham, followed by Bukayo Saka. So Phil Foden is breaking a lot further forward. He's creating that focal point, but he's coming off the left. You don't want a focal point off the left. I get that you want to get him involved, but it goes back to my earlier point. They're pushing more towards the left, and it's swung the opposite way. Still not balance in the team. If you want balance, your centre forwards or your wingers have to both be pushing at the same rate forward. That's called balance. It's the same way you're not going to allow one fullback to go forward and the other one to go forward and not have the balance of the situation. Unless we're where we've seen where they're playing a back three. But ultimately, as I said, England have swapped the other way. They've gone from their right wing being their most kind of fruitful of attacking positions to being the left-hand side. That's not a problem. It's just that if they're going back to this balance argument, you're not getting balance either way. You're getting imbalance because one side is dominating the other, and therefore it's not creating a balanced team. Again, it goes back to my point. It's not Trent Alexander-Arnold's fault. I still don't understand why he's come into this team. I really don't. I don't know what Conor Gallagher's given that Trent Alexander-Arnold couldn't have in that first half. So I once again go back to my point. I don't get where the changes come from, or why it's come from that area. I just don't understand it. It's a tactical problem. It's tactical tweaks that they need. The personnel was not a bad set of players that have a lot of quality. It's the tactics that haven't really got them in the right positions, haven't got the balance right. That could come down to making changes. So far in that second half, he's made one change, or in that first half, made one change for this game, Gareth Southgate, and has had minimal impact on England's change because they've had more shots, they're creating good shots, decent efforts, dominating possession. The goal is still missing, and it's still, I would guarantee you, there would still be complaints about how England have played in that first half. But for me, it's better than what I've seen in the other two games. I didn't think Denmark was awful in the first half, the same way I didn't think Serbia was awful in the first half. But the same problem resolves. We'll see in the second half whether they drop off like they have in the previous two games. Right, I really need to get to a break. The second half's on the way next. Goalless in both games. Second half's certain to be an exciting one. See you shortly. Welcome back to Euro 2024 Live. I do apologise for that half-time rant. It went on a weird tangent, and I actually confused myself as to what I was talking about. All this talk about England, it's sending everybody into a bit of a spiral. Just keep it simple. It is goalless. That is the simple answer. It's goalless between both games tonight in Group see. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That'd be greatly appreciated. And do follow us on socials as well, on X, Instagram, and TikTok. All the links and handles you need are in the live video description. And we've seen another change from England at half-time, and you can guess where it's come from. And I'll get to that in a moment. The player's back out on the field, and it's a midfielding change. So, Kobbie Mainoo has come on, and Conor Gallagher has come off. So again, he's changing that same position once again for England. Let's see how it changes. Their only changes in this tournament so far, England, have been at central defensive midfield alongside Declan Rice, Alexander-Arnold out for Gallagher, and now after 45 minutes, Conor Gallagher's been taken off, and Kobbie Mainoo has come on. Let's see how he does. I'm not going to criticise Kobbie Mainoo, the player, but I just don't see how that's going to change. We will see. Of course, second half about to get underway here in Cologne, and also about to get underway in Munich, as well as Denmark are going to make a change of their own at half time. So I'll get that information to you in a moment or two. But I have to say, I would say the Slovenian head coach, Mitaj Kek, will not be too disappointed with that first half from his team. They showed good promise, they showed good attacking options, maybe a bit more efficiency in the final third needed, but they look defensively okay, and attacking-wise not too bad. So certainly not much to complain about for Slovenia in that first half. As the second half gets underway here in Cologne, Gareth Southgate's made another change at half-time, with Gallagher, who was the only change to the starting 11 tonight from the previous two games, was off after 45 minutes. And the man on, Kobbie Mainoo, the young Manchester United midfielder, who had his game of his career in the FA Cup final against Manchester City. A lot of people have been calling out for that change, and he's eventually onto the pitch. Let's see what difference it will make. Slovenia unchanged into the second half, and Denmark and Serbia for the moment, they're just making changes in that one. Serbia made one or two changes at half-time as well, so the second half should be getting underway there in any second now. Where, as it stands, England will be top of the group, Denmark will be second, Slovenia will be third, and Serbia would be out, bottom of the group. So they're now underway in Munich between Denmark and Serbia once again. So maybe a goal fest of a second half here. Who knows? Trippier to take this through in for England. Mainoo instantly involved. Passes back to Gerhi. And let's be honest, if Kobbie Mainoo doesn't perform in the second half the way that has a similar impact as Conor Gallagher, I'm not blaming the player. And you can't blame the player, because that would be three players in the same position trying to fulfill the same role that all haven't worked. Therefore, the common denominator is the role. That's the idea, that's the point I was making. It's not the player in that role that's the problem. It's the role itself. Seems to be just too ineffective. But we'll see how that changes. Here's Jude Bellingham, who's come off the left flank there. Infield, back out wide to Trippier. England had almost 70% possession in that first half, so they'll be hoping for more of the same, as Trippier dilly-dallied on the ball there and gave it away as Mlakar. Now out to the left-hand side, but no one made that run. Beyond, and Saka will recover for England. Walker to Bukayo Saka. Kane coming deeper again, but running into trouble, having to pass it back to Gerhi. Came very deep again, Harry Kane. I don't understand it. Really don't. Walker. Saka drives in field. Bukayo Saka, but tracked all the way out there by Janza. Back to Guehi, and now Trippier to Phil Foden. To Bukayo Saka now. Much more central. Lays it off to Bellingham on his right. Now Walker. Saka. Well, marshalled out there by Mlakar. The cut back for Mainu. Finds Bellingham in the box. Will get the corner, Jude Bellingham. Better play from Kobbie Mainu there. Linking up with Bellingham. England get the first corner of the second half. Taken short. All the way back to Mainu. Walker across to Declan Rice, who will lift it into the box. Rice. Kane with a header across. Cleared away by Drakusic. Cycled back by Bellingham there to Walker. Although Walker's ball forward was a bit misplaced to Saka as Mainu beaten off the ball. But competitive in there in the middle is Foden. Lays it off to Bellingham. Rice. Mainu. First touch to Bellingham. Cleared away that time once again by Bijol. And Slovenia try and break forward with Sporar, but Guehi did very well to come across and defend and get the ball forward to Saka now. Played it in behind. Harry Kane trying to square it across. Blocked out again by Slovenia. Bijol that time. Will be another England corner. Nice run in behind by Harry Kane. Bijol played him onside and had to slide to make the block. So as bodies arriving, Bellingham and Foden in the middle for Harry Kane to try and find. Corner it will come. Corner whipped into the back post this time. Flicked on and up in the air it goes. Not fully cleared away that time. Second chance cleared, and this shot well from distance from Phil Foden was travelling absolutely no one there. Well, these sides have met on multiple occasions previously. They've met 6 times in the last 15 years. England have won all but one of those 6 games, and that was a 0-0 draw away to Slovenia in the World Cup qualifiers back in October 2016. That 0-0 draw. Slovenia actually had more shots than England that night. And the England side included Daniel Sturridge, Jesse Lingard, Theo Walcott, Henderson, Dele Alli, Eric Dyer, Kyle Walker and John Stones were in that side, those two. They were the 2 that started that game and are still England's team tonight. Wayne Rooney came off the bench that night. That was 8 years ago. Almost 8 years ago. England's last result against Slovenia was in the same World Cup qualifying campaign, and a 94th minute winner from Harry Kane scored the only goal of that last fixture between the two. Slovenia finished 4th in that group. England, of course, finished top. 8 wins out of their 10 in that qualifying campaign. Of course, the World Cup where they got to the semi-finals were knocked out by Croatia. Went on to finish 4th, I believe, in that outcome. It was the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Guehi. Slovenia, sorry, trying to battle back there against England. And looking strong. Harry Kane coming very deep again. He will switch it out to Walker, who will have to take it first time across, but that's not a great cross from Kyle Walker there. But again, it begs the question, why was Harry Kane in that area? Why was he so deep? Very passionate fan. Young Slovenian there. Certainly very happy about his side's performance so far. As Jan Oblak goes long with his kick. England will recover the ball though. Rice to Walker. Harry Kane again, deep, plays the ball over the top, and Bellingham had made the run that time, but caused a problem. It will be a goal kick for Slovenia there. But again, Harry Kane dropping deep, trying to play those like balls in behind. It's a decent effort to find Jude Bellingham, but it just baffles me why he's there. Harry Kane, I really don't get it. He doesn't play that system for Bayern Munich. He's an out-and-out centre-forward who gets goals because he's in the box at the right time. He's a poacher. He scores a hatful of goals for Bayern Munich by doing that exact role. We have a goal, I believe. There may be. It might be disallowed for offside. Serbia have put the ball in the net. We'll wait and see, and we're waiting further confirmation, but the ball has been put in the net by Serbia. I think it might have been an own goal from Denmark, but VAR are checking, so we will update in a moment. The goal was disallowed on the field, so we'll update you as we can, as and when we can from that one. Novak Djokovic, tennis player, in the crowd watching on. This is Serbian side. We'll update you on that in a moment. The updates come through. The goal does not stand, so there was an offside in the build-up. So still 0-0 there in that one. Just as we thought we got a glimpse of a goal, the offside flag was the correct decision. So no goal. Trippier to Jude Bellingham. Lifts it over the top. Again, cleared away by Bijol. Rice just holds on in midfield. Does well to evade the challenges there. Bellingham to Rice. Mainu breaking forward a bit more for England. And Mainu clattered there. Will get the free kick. The Man United midfielder. Kobbie Mainu, who in true English player fashion burst onto the scene this season. The 19-year-old just turned 19 in April. Made his first England appearance in the last year, and in the Premier League last season made 24 appearances, started all 24 appearances for Manchester United, scored 3 goals and got 1 assist in the Premier League for Manchester United from midfield. Not a bad first season. Free kick taken from England all the way through. Got a header in there from Bijol. Back out the other end. Another flick on from Slovenia. Mlakar that time. And flicked behind for a corner. Great free kick from Phil Foden. Bodies queuing up. Bijol got the header to take it away from Stones. And Kane was in there as well. And then the header, as the ball was delivered from the right-hand side back in by Mlakar out for the corner. Foden to take this corner, left-hand side. England applying more pressure. Another corner, whipped in, headed on, down, still alive. Šeško to head it away again. Guhi trying to force it in, but Saka trying for the overhead kick, committing the foul in the process. And he's caught the Slovenian defender there, which is not a good sign at the moment. He stayed down. See that again. Saka tries to go for the overhead kick here. Yeah, he just collides with Sporar there. Yeah, just catches Sporar. He tried to go for the overhead kick. Saka. Bit of a scramble. Certainly wasn't the most comfortable piece of defending from Slovenia, but needs must. He's okay to continue, Sporar, after we saw a pretty horrible clash, a pretty horrible head injury on Sunday night in Scotland and Hungary's game. Barnabas Farga, luckily Sporar is okay, He's back to his feet fairly quickly. Of course, Barnabas Varga was okay after that, ultimately, after receiving medical treatment, which was great news. So, goal kick there for free kick for Slovenia, sorry, All Black to take. Slovenia have certainly had a lot more defending to do in the second half. They haven't had much of an outlet for themselves to get forward. As they give away the possession there. Here's Harry Kane. Nice Saka. Around the corner to Walker. Nice 1-2 between Walker and Saka. Back it comes to Kane. Nicked away from him. Bellingham will be there to pick it up again. Trippier on the left. Bellingham. Foden. Back to Trippier again as Slovenia have the spaces covered. Rice. 1-2 between Rice and Foden. Rice very far wide on the right. Back to Bellingham. Trippier and Fields. England passing around very well in and between those 4 or 5 players, but not going anywhere further forward at this moment. As Rice looks to switch. Chested down by Walker. Saka now. Back to Walker. Again by Saka. Laid off to Foden, who tried to carry the ball forward. Pipped away from him. He will have it back again. It's constant pressure from England. Saka with a deep cross. Karnashnik was the closest, but evaded everyone in there. Bellingham will pick up on the left. Now Rice. Forward to Foden. Back to Declan Rice. Tried to find it back to Foden again, but cleared away. Šeško tried to get Slovenia forward, but again England pick it up again. 60 minutes gone. England 0, Slovenia 0. As it stands, that would be enough for England to claim top spot. There's a long way to go. Walker trying to go for the second touch. Cuts it back from the byline, but don't think he kept it in. No. Goal kick Slovenia. Yeah, he just crossed the line there, Walker, before Walker could cut it back in. Gareth Southgate applauding his side's efforts. Made 6 shots in the first half, England. 2 shots in the second, so they're averaging about the same. Averaging 2 shots every 15 minutes, England, at this rate. Not that it's a bad thing, but they're staying consistent. Certainly having more threat than Slovenia overall in the game, but Slovenia is still struggling to get forward more in the second half. They did get forward a lot more in the first half, had a few more efforts in the first 45, but the second half struggled a bit more, have Slovenia, I would have to say. They've had a lot more defending to do, but that's better news for England to hear. Mainu tried to go for the 1-2 with Saka, but it was a foul in the process, and Slovenia will get the free kick. It was Erik Janza that was fouled. Say it again. Saka. There's not much in that, to be honest, but Slovenia get the free kick. Still 0-0 elsewhere between Denmark and Serbia for the moment. As I said a bit earlier on, Serbia did have the ball in the net, but it was disallowed for offside on the field, and then VAR continued with that decision. They checked it to make sure that that was the right decision, and it was. So no goal was the case there for Serbia, but they've had the ball in the net. One of only the 4 sides in action that have done that so far tonight, and they're the ones that need to. They're bottom of the group, Serbia. A draw would not be enough as it stands, with England and Slovenia drawing, to get anywhere other than bottom of the group. Slovenia making good work of this, and this shot is wayward. It was a camera trick from Adam Cherin. from a long distance. Looked to be a decent effort, but as the shot came, it was spinning well away from goal and closer to the corner flag than the back of the net, to be honest. But the trick of the camera, it made it look a lot better than initially we saw. Stones. Gerhi. England still in calm possession. Walker to Gerhi. Bellingham. Walker. Bukayo Saka. Up against Janza. Has to come back infield. Back to Walker. Now Mainu, who's basically roaming everywhere at the moment. Kobe Mainu. Rice tried to play the ball through the middle there. Closed out well. Defended well by Eric Janza, who's gone down there. Felt a push in his back. And he's in a bit of pain here, Eric Janza, for the moment. Jude Bellingham was the one involved with that. There's not much in that, to be honest. I mean, he was waiting for it, Eric Janza there. Jude Bellingham does push him in the back, but he was waiting for the challenge to come because he knew that Bellingham was going to try and battle for the ball. Nothing in that. Well, looking at the stats, and we'll do a full roundup after the group stages. We'll have a quick look and ahead of the round of 16 and the knockouts getting underway about who leads the stats of the competition so far. It's the hosts that have leading the majority of the stats. England or Germany have the most goals, 8 goals scored. The most average possession, over 64% possession in every game. They have the best passing accuracy of over 93%. Hungary have the most tackles. Austria have recovered the most balls. Poland have had made the most saves. And Spain have the most clean sheets so far. Our top scorers, there are 5 joint top scorers. Mikatadze on 2 for Georgia. Musiala on 2 for Germany. Gakpo on 2 for the Netherlands. Füllkrug on 2 for Germany. And Schranz on 2 for Slovakia. 5 players also on 2 assists as well. A lot of players on shots on target as well, which is not really interesting as stats work. But that's where I'm having to go at this moment in time to give you information to keep us interested or slightly intrigued about the tournament, because this game, our 2 games tonight, haven't been the most exciting. Pretty boring so far, to be honest. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or a kind of make it very disappointing, but you'll see it yourself. We've had no goals so far, but we keep optimism. Maybe it'll be the highest scoring final 15 minutes of a group so far. Who knows? We'll have late drama maybe. Who knows? We'll wait and see. Because literally nothing has changed in this group since the very first minute of kickoff. Even before kickoff, nothing has changed since then. In terms of places in the group, each team has stayed in the place they were before kickoff tonight. At the moment, that is benefiting England and Denmark the most. England the most of all. Although Sporar pulled back there by Gerhi. And it's going to be a yellow card for Mark Gerhi. And a free kick to Slovenia. Maybe a bit of action there. Slovenia did well. Long ball out. Cleared up the pitch and they got their forwards involved. Šeško and Sporar involved. Sporar got battling with Gerhi. And Sporar got the better of Mark Gerhi there. got past him, and Gerhi had no option but to pull back Sporar, commit the foul, and it will be a yellow card to the England centre-back. He had to take evasive action there, as he did find himself caught out. So free kick here for Slovenia, less than a quarter of the game to go in both Cologne, in England, Slovenia, and in Munich between Denmark and Serbia, with not a goal between them just yet, but could there be late action that could swap this table about, turn it on its head? And Slovenia have a lot of quality from set pieces. They can find a finish from them, as do England, but Slovenia are the ones with a free kick for the moment. It's about 29 yards, so I wouldn't say that going for goal, directly for goal, would be the best course of action, but you never know. It is literally on the 30-yard line, cut of the grass on the pitch, so it will be Cherin, one of those over it, and it looks like Janza might be the other one. Sporar, sorry, is the other one. Let's see. It's not Sporar. I was misled by the live feed commentator there. Whoever took the free kick, it went well wide. Goal kick. Comes to nothing. The delivery in was just a bit too high, and it was Sporar in there that committed the foul on Bellingham that got England the free kick out of that moment. I was right initially. It was Eric Janza that took that free kick. Cole Palmer is going to come on here for England, and it's going to be Bukayo Saka that's going to make way. 20 to go, and the calls for Cole Palmer have been made over the last two games, and Gareth Southgate eventually gets that echoing in his ear, and that change has been made with a rapturous applause and a roar from the England fans to that change. So Cole Palmer on for a bit of extra fresh legs and some extra energy in the England attack. Walker was battling there. England trying to press back. Šeško closed down by Mainu there. Rice. To Bellingham. Out to Trippier. As Bellingham lets it go through his legs and find Mark Gerhi. Well, England might go through the group tonight as winners. Certainly won't be the most star-studded set of performances in any of their three games up to this point. Hasn't been the crispest, the most cleanest, the most wonderful football to watch, certainly by a long shot. But it's about the results that matter. It's about the points and your ultimate position in the group after three matches. That is the biggest point. As Harry Kane wins a free kick here, and another yellow cards come out. It's Jakabijol that's got the foul given against him, and a yellow card. Yeah, Kane was breaking free there, and Bijol, similar to Gerhi a bit earlier, had to just pull him back. Had no choice. So Kieran Trippier, one of those over this one for England. Phil Foden alongside him. He took one earlier, Foden, and forced a big save off Jan Oblak, albeit from the other side. This one's on the right hand side. The Foden effort from earlier was on the left, so might have another chance again. Trippier and Foden over this for England. Lifted in by Trippier. He cycling at the back post, and that goes out of play for an England throw off Drakusic there. Just over 15 minutes remaining. England 0, Slovenia 0. Same scoreline between Denmark and Serbia in Group C. This would be, out of the 4 groups that have been watched so far, this would be the lowest scoring match day 3 of any of the groups. 3 goals in Group A, 3 goals in Group B, and 7 in Group C, or Group D, sorry, a bit earlier on. 0 so far in Group C on the final day. Certainly not the blockbuster that we've held it up to be just to this point. As Cole Palmer breaks down the left there, closed out by Stojanovic. Rice, nice work, breaks round the corner, cuts out across the Foden. Rice with a strike, and it was a clean straight one, but just wide of the right post by Declan Rice. Took the strike, it was clean, but it was just wide. Decent distance wide, but not a bad effort there by Declan Rice. Not someone you were expecting to have the shot from that position, or in that position anyway. And Benjamin Šeško's night is done. So Šeško off for Slovenia, their first change of the night, and it's going to be Josip Ilicic. It's going to come on in place of the Slovenian number 11. Benjamin Šeško, of course, who has hit the post a couple of times, has hit the woodwork once or twice in the group so far. The RB Leipzig man, 21 years old. Now he has to wait in anticipation. As it stands, his team would finish 3rd in the group. And I would have to figure this one out. They would finish on 3 points with a 0 goal difference, which would, at this moment in time, see them through in 3rd place. Czechia can still have their say, but that would see Slovenia through a 0-0 draw, with Denmark and Serbia drawing elsewhere. That would be enough for Slovenia to secure a place in the knockouts. And they wouldn't know their opponents until the end of tomorrow, before all the games are concluded, because they would face either the winner of Group E, Portugal. Those are their 2 options. The winner of Group E, which could be anyone, or Portugal. Here's Mainu. Cuts it across the box. No one anywhere near that ball. No one in the middle for England there. As the foul committed there again by Phil Foden, and he's going to get a yellow card for his reaction, I would say, more than the foul. Foden's going to be booked. Rice is the one that committed the challenge on the Slovenian substitute there, Ilicic. So Foden was the one that was carded. Drakusic. Karnišnik. Forward looking for Sporar, but too far ahead of Andras Sporar. Will be gathered by England at the back again. Denmark have made changes as well elsewhere in Munich. And that game has not been much more exciting than this one, really, at all. Denmark have pushed and probed, but nothing clear-cut. As the cross comes in from England, but Karnišnik got it behind for the corner. Not half bad, that, from England. Good work down the right-hand side. It was Harry Kane with the delivery. Not a bad effort. Foden was at the back post, but Karnišnik put it behind for the corner to England. Another corner. Is that confirmation of Phil Foden's yellow card? Just seen there. It's their 6th corner of the game, England's. Foden to take again. Whips it in. Kane got up for the header. It will come right back out to Foden, but the free kick will be going Slovenia's way for a foul in there. Clement Turpin, the referee tonight, has taken no prisoners on that front. He's taken no time. He's just been very definitive in his decisions, which is what we want from a referee. By the way, we've all talked about big results. This would be huge for Slovenia. They are one of the lowest ranked sides in the competition. There were only 2 teams lower ranked in the competition than Slovenia, and they were Albania and Georgia. At the moment, Georgia are the only side currently still in the competition after Albania's ejection last night. Ultimately, but that would be huge for Slovenia. They could sneak their way through in this group. They would, if Georgia go out tomorrow and Slovenia do go through, they would become the lowest ranked side in the competition, still in it, Slovenia, but a long way to go before that becomes the case. But it still doesn't diminish their efforts. They could finish this campaign, they could finish this group stage having drawn all 3 games, which, considering coming into the competition, would be a massive achievement. Maybe not as such against Serbia. Ultimately, they probably should have won that game. They would fail themselves after that late equaliser. But against Denmark and England, much more impressive results. As the referees just stopped the game here. Slovenia played it out. But there was a player down. Erik Jansa. See it again. Him and Bellingham just colliding. Yeah, Bellingham just catches the back of Jansa's leg. It's not a foul, but he's in pain. The Slovenian left back. Just a reminder then, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. We have another day of action, double header action in the groups. Group E and Group F both conclude tomorrow, and we'll have action from both of those games tomorrow. Both those groups, sorry, tomorrow on LFS, and don't forget about that. You'll not want to miss it. Especially Group E in particular. That's the one I'm so looking forward to, because all 4 teams are on 3 points heading into the final match day, which is absolutely incredible. That's definitely going to be a blockbuster. Mark my words. Palmer using his footwork to weave his way through, but Bellingham again dispossessed, and now Slovenia can try and break on the counter. The ball just will bounce away from Elshnik there, but nice effort from Slovenia on the counter, but England again maybe a bit loose in their possession. Palmer to Walker as England readying another change. And if I'm not mistaken, my eyes aren't deceiving me, that looks like number 8, which would be Trent Alexander-Arnold. We'll wait and see. Cole Palmer delivers in, headed away. Slovenia try and counter. Again closed down well by Gerhi. Palmer. Bellingham out to Foden. It is Trent Alexander-Arnold that's going to come on. So the man that was dropped for this game from the start is going to come on with 8 minutes plus additional time to go to try and rescue something for England here. Rescue a win is the idea. Although a draw, as I said, as it stands, isn't a bad result for England, unless Denmark can get a late winner elsewhere. That could be the difference. That would be the difference. If England were to draw and Denmark were to win, England would be stripped of top spot on goals scored. Simple as that. That's good work from Kane, and Foden shot blocked. Into the box again. Palmer. Delivers low into the box, but hoofed away again. Slovenia seemingly holding on defensively. Not risking too much in attack, although they are trying to go for the counter. Gerhi. Back it goes. Pickford hoofs up the pitch, flicked on by Palmer. Manu couldn't get on the end of it there, but there was something in there, a high boot, and the referee claiming on one of the Slovenians. Janza there again was involved. Say it again. Palmer on Janza. I mean, doesn't catch the player. There's nothing wrong with that. Referee's given a free kick though, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is on. And at right back. Interesting. Alexander-Arnold on at right back for England. Trippier has come off in his place. So Kyle Walker will switch out to left back as Alexander-Arnold in at right back. So maybe Trippier's just not fit enough to continue. That could be the reason for that change. Slovenia trying to break forward again. McGurhey deemed to have been fouled there. Certainly time in the game, in both games, for it to change. As I said, if Denmark were to beat Serbia late on here, were to win, and England were to draw, England wouldn't get top spot. Denmark would get top spot. And England would finish second, which would mean they would face Germany. Old foes. That is the idea at the moment, although it's Denmark that would face Germany as it stands. Slovenia are making another double change. One of them is going to be Sporar, and the other is going to be Mlakar. And they're going to make way. One of them is going to come off for Stankovic. John Gorank Stankovic is one of those changes. And the other player coming on is going to be Jan Chelar. Jan Chelar. So Stankovic and Chelar on, replacing Sporar and Mlakar for Slovenia. With less than 5 minutes of the normal time to go, still goalless here in Cologne, still goalless in Munich, which as it stands would secure top spot for England, second place for Denmark. Slovenia would finish third, but would have enough to qualify for the knockouts, and Serbia would finish bottom, knocked out. Janza to Elshnik through the lines. Stankovic. Now Ilicic. Two changes linking up there, but Declan Rice got in Ilicic's way. It's easy for me to say. Alexander-Arnold right back, his traditional role at club level mostly, and that's good work to link up with Foden to get it away. Gerhi. Down the left comes Walker. To Bellingham. Stones. Well, at the moment, when England are in possession, Alexander-Arnold's gone into midfield, and Kobbie Mainoo is just covering over at right back for Trent at the moment, so that's interesting. From England, later on. Walker, looking for the long diagonal out to Palmer on the right. Lovely first touch by Palmer, blocked off by Janza. Free kick to England. So there are changes still flooding in Denmark and Serbia. They're both making big changes late on. England have a free kick here though. Alexander-Arnold and Foden are over it. Can they find a teammate in there that can try and give them the lead? It would secure, it would be certainly secure top spot for England. Would put Slovenia in a perilous position against Serbia though, if anything were to change elsewhere. Alexander-Arnold and Foden. 2 minutes of the 90 to go. Foden will deliver, left-footed. Headed away at the front post. And Slovenia trying to counter. Blocked off there, but fair challenge by Kobe Mainu, says the referee. But the Slovenian player stayed down, and the referee, I think, has given the free kick. Say it again. It's a lit studs. Yeah, they're from Kobe Mainu. On Stojanovic. Phil Foden's going to make way here for England later on. And Anthony Gordon is going to come on. Then Newcastle forward. Phil Foden a lot more impressive tonight. But as I said, maybe in place of Bukayo Saka. Still a bit of a struggle for England on that balance front. Still not finding the balance between the left and the right. But Phil Foden benefited more from finding more of the ball tonight in those wider areas. Free kick for Slovenia then. The free kick had been given there. All Black, last minute of the 90. The ball flicked forward that time. In behind by Chelar, but no one was there to follow up. But Pickford to gather. Alexander-Arnold. Stones. Back to Walker. Gordon with his first run of the night. The ball just run out of play there. Ahead of Anthony Gordon. Throw into Slovenia. We'll see how long we'll be added on. Wouldn't expect too many minutes. Maybe we're going to make a change first, Slovenia. So I was about to see how long we'll be added on. But the change coming first for Slovenia. And Erik Jans is going to make way here. And the change is going to be Jure Balkovic. So Jure Balkovic on for Erik Jansa. 4 added minutes in Cologne. A draw, as I said, as it stands for England, is enough to claim top spot and avoid the scary side of the draw, with the likes of Spain, Portugal, Germany and France all there. The runners-up of this group will face Germany. At the moment that is Denmark. Unless things change elsewhere, that will be the case. Or even change here, obviously. As there will be 5 added minutes in Munich between Denmark and Serbia. So still time for there to be a change there. I said if Serbia or Denmark score, it would change the manner of things. If Serbia were to score, then they would be in a real battle for second spot. They would get second place. And Slovenia would drop out. Denmark would finish third. If Denmark were to score, they would top the group. As I said, with England and Slovenia drawing, they would top the group on goals scored. But here come England though. They could secure it now. Cole Palmer! The shot straight at the keeper. They had a lot of bodies forward, England, but it'll take a lot more than that shot from Cole Palmer to find a way past the experienced Jan Oblak. It's not the best of strikes. Pretty tame in the end. Two minutes to go. We'll confirm the final table for you at full time. Skarnishnik for Slovenia. Late challenge there. Will be an England advantage here. Throw in. So England still on the push. Slovenia are going to cause an upset. They need to do it quickly. But there's not much time left as England come up the pitch. Here's Cole Palmer. There's Elshnik back there to Vending, but Palmer will pick it up again and edge of the box. Alexander-Arnold hadn't got the space. And now England wanted the free kick at the edge of the box, but the referee's not giving it. Although the counter-attack there from Slovenia comes to nothing as England come right back again. Bellingham. Anthony Gordon. Alexander-Arnold will shoot from distance, and not too far over the bar there from Alexander-Arnold. Wow. And we will stay with you when this game goes to full time. It's a rare occasion. We haven't had that yet. The other game has finished earlier than us on the previous occasions, but we will stay with you until the final whistle in both games, because you never know. This game will come to an end earlier than the other game, but at the moment, awaiting the whistle. Oh, Ilicic got the ball forward there, but that's it. England are through, and at the moment Slovenia will join them. England will top the group here in Group C, and will avoid the tough edge of the group of the draw for the round of 16. Slovenia are the ones celebrating at the moment, and we will see who they will face in the round of 16. England, at the moment, the winners will face the third place team in Group D, E or F. Slovenia will finish in third place as it stands in Group C, barring the late goal from Serbia that would change things. But Slovenia are celebrating at the moment because possibly for the first time in their history, they're heading through to the knockout stages of the European Championships. Final score in Cologne: a goalless draw. England 0, Slovenia 0. Right, so all up there in Cologne, but still alive in Munich. Denmark and Serbia. Seconds remain though. A 0-0 draw would knock Serbia out as it stands. The only way Serbia can go through is if they score a late winner. Denmark securely through. They can still get top spot if they score a late winner. We are awaiting the result of that game to decide the outcome. Serbia have the ball. They break forward down the left-hand side. It comes. They're trying to push for that late winner. Serbia will take you if anything changes as Denmark hoof it up the pitch, and the 5 minutes are up. But there's still time left according to the referee. There's not. That's it. It's all over in Munich. And it's all over for Serbia. Their campaign in the European Championships is over. Denmark will go through alongside England and Slovenia. And Serbia will be the ones on the chopping block in Group C. Disappointing end to the campaign for Serbia. They'll be proud of what they've delivered. They kept it close against England. They got a late draw against Slovenia and drew against Denmark. They were so close, yet so far. But Slovenia now know, it's confirmed, they are through. Denmark finish above Slovenia ultimately. In the end, Slovenia finish third, Serbia finish bottom. And there we are. That's the final results of Group C. And the confirmation then, England top the group on 5 points. Denmark on 3. Slovenia on 3. Both the same goal difference, but Denmark finish ahead. But both go through and Serbia are knocked out. So, we can confirm then for you now the knockout opponents. England, as I said, will face the third place team from Group D or E. Ultimately then, the runner-up of this group, Denmark, will face Germany. That's confirmed. Germany-Denmark is another round of 16 tie. And the third place in this group, of course, Slovenia. They will face either the winner of Group E or Portugal, depending on what happens elsewhere. Whether the third place in Group A will go through or elsewhere, Group F, E or D. Group B, of course, won't have their third place through, no matter what now. The third place teams, I'll just confirm that for you for now, before we leave you tonight. I believe we can confirm that for you. We do have some technical problems. I do apologise. So that is us, right? We will update it on social, so do stay tuned for that, and also on the YouTube community page. But that's it tonight from Group C. A pretty lacklustre end to the night with 2 0-0 draws, but ultimately England are through, Denmark are through, and for the first time in their history, Slovenia are through. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we will have Group E action. Our game of choice is Ukraine against Belgium, and we'll be watching Slovakia, Romania on the side as well. All 4 teams in Group E on 3 points. Certainly not one you'll want to miss. See you tomorrow. For now, night-night.